Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure to welcome you here to our webinar tonight. I'm Chad Erickson, Vice President of Sales and Business Development at Advice Media, and I'm one of the owners here. And many of you have heard my voice, but we're doing a little video tonight, and I've got Dr. Rich Castellano with us as well, and I'll introduce Dr. Rich here in just a moment. We're kind of changing the time tonight. We want to try something a little different, see if this time in the evening worked a little bit better for our various crowds, knowing that hey, different times work well for different people. And for those of you that couldn't make it or catching this after the fact on a recorded version, we welcome you as well. Just a few things today, covering just a couple of items. As always, we do welcome your input and your questions, and we want to have those. That's an important part of our dialogue as we continue to educate and to teach and make sure that you feel like your questions are being answered as you're trying to grow and become better at what you do. So I will be moderating today. Please use the control panel so that you have that information there in front of you. You can simply in the section where it has questions, enter a question. I'll keep those. We've allocated time at the end of this presentation. We've allocated an hour tonight. For about the last 10 minutes, we will have a Q&A time, and Dr. Rich will be happy to answer those questions for you. And if there's anything I can answer as well, great, but it's really, you know, he's here tonight, so we appreciate him taking his time. Let me go ahead and introduce him. So I've known Dr. Rich for about 2.5 years now. We met at a large event in the aesthetics show, I believe it was, in Vegas. And immediately just had this bond and this connection. And then I heard him give his presentation the next day. And I said, one of these times I'm going to have him do a webinar for us. I just love his energy. I love what he does and what he brings to the table. It was so cool. And over time, we've just developed this friendship and just realized, yes, it is deep. But more importantly, I've learned more about what he has done and how he's accomplished this through his processes. And even since I met him 2.5 years ago, he has developed some new systems. And that's part of what I want to hear him here today, is to talk about how he has systematically approached his business, and he wants to share those with you. So let me give you a very formal introduction and then really turn the time over to him tonight. Dr. Rich is a true innovator and pioneer. He's an award-winning, double board-certified facial plastic surgeon. So it wasn't good enough to be single. He got the double board certification. He's established himself as a facelift expert now by completing over 3,500 facelifts under local anesthesia, which is astounding. He's performed over 10,000 cosmetic filler injections, being a top Sculptra injector, and now the #1 Bellafill injector in the United States. That's an amazing accomplishment. In addition to traveling the country to teach doctors and speak at national meetings, Dr. Rich is the founder of Profitability MD, an award-winning online coaching and mentoring program that is receiving rave reviews from plastic surgeons, facial plastic surgeons, and cosmetic medical practices. And I'll add to it that I've actually went in there to join as well. I've been participating because I thought, what else can I learn of these pain points that doctors are having, and to be there, and it's been amazing. But based on his experience of going from near bankruptcy to consistently generating over $3 million in annual revenue as a solo practitioner with no insurance reimbursements is huge. And he's going to openly share his strategies and processes and systems for success tonight. And though our talk tonight is about how he's generated over $375,000 of revenue in a month, in the months of October and November, and get a load of this, is amazing. Dr. Rich and his team have generated over $4,000 a month in each of those months as a solo practitioner. So 400,000, sorry, yes, thank you, $400,000. So anyway, we're honored to have him here, excited for him to tell you what he's done and really share his ideas with you. So Dr. Rich, take it away.
Thank you so much, Chad, for that amazing introduction. And I am truly very grateful to be here, because as we've gotten to know one another, it really is powerful when you see a business really takes on the personality of its leader and its founder. And when I got to know Chad and his team, he just has so much integrity. He's doing the same thing. Chad is a doctor for doctors who are in pain because their website's not up to speed. And when I saw how he was creating value for others, and I have a lot of doctors that I work with and I create value for them when they're in pain in their business, and then they ask me, well, I need help on my website. Chad is an easy person to say, look, just you need to talk to Chad and his team. They will get you taken care of. So that's how we got to know one another. We've had a lot of fun, and it truly is an honor. And I'm so excited to share with you some of my, embarrassing moments, my mistakes that my business, yes, I'm not proud of it, but there was a day my office manager came to me and said, I think we're going to have to file for bankruptcy. And that story lives with me to this day because I turn things around, and I'm excited to share that with you to create what I do. So as Chad said, I'm a facial plastic surgeon, and I have now developed with our systems an online coaching and mentoring program through my story. So let me share with you my story. When I got out of my training, I was very good at taking great care of patients. I didn't know how to run the business. Ever heard that story before, right? So I started running the business. I told my office manager, you handle the business part, I'm going to handle the patient care, we'll be great. And I took my eye off the ball. And guess what happened? Big surprise. The business started to go downward. We were busy creating a lot of revenue, but we had a lot more expenses. Difficult conversation. I could see it on the face of my office manager one day. He says, I think we're going to have to file for bankruptcy. And I feel blindsided, and I did not know what I was going to do. And so that compelled me to put things together where consistently we generate over 3 million in cosmetic revenue. I'm the only provider. How do I do that? It's about systems, but not just about having a system, but how you do it, how you are coached through it. We all need coaching. And so there's many, many things I can share. What I'm going to do for tonight is I am going to share with you one of the important strategies to get you through these systems. We all have systems. Some systems are better than others. Even if you have a great system, are you implementing it well? So one of the systems I want to talk to you about tonight through my story of getting into trouble through great success. And let me tell you, I love my team now. I am so proud of my team. And if you're watching this and if you're able to say that, great. But if you're saying, I'd really, I wish I could get more out of my team, or why aren't they engaged more? Or, I get tire kickers that come. How do I get rid of these price shoppers? Or, there's holes in my schedule, or I'm so frustrated. We've been through things. My staff don't seem to get it. How do I do that? I've been there. And the system that matters most to me, you must start measuring. Okay, fine, I know that you've got to measure, but what do we measure in my practice? So one of the things we talk about is experience. We've all been to a restaurant. You may have great food. If the service was really bad or you felt slighted by the waiter, if you go to a place and have a bad experience, you might go back another time. But if you go back twice and you have 2 bad experiences, what's the likelihood you're going to go back? After you've got great food but bad experiences, it's pretty low. But if you have an amazing experience, even if the food isn't great, you had an amazing experience and you're likely to return or refer your family and friends. So we want to give great quality product in our office, great treatments. That's why I focus only on facelifts and fillers, so I can provide a very high level of results, high level of expertise, set myself apart. And we want a great experience. How do you measure the experience? How do you measure it? You can do surveys. You can have a feel. I have my pulse on the feel of the practice. What I do is I look for one thing. I want to get a response from our patients. And that response that I want to get is I want to get them to say the word, wow. Right? Wow. If we have a patient that comes through and they say, hey, how'd you like your result, Mrs. Smith? And they go, wow. You're done. You did what if they say, wow, when their friends say, hey, how was it at that office? Oh, wow. Let me tell you, they're great. If wow comes out, you hit the mark. So I have 3 ingredients for the wow experience. How do you break it down? So the first ingredient that some of you may have heard me talk about before, I call it the smile score. Now, what is the smile score? And stay with me here. This is about nonverbal communication. Some people say, oh, smiling. Oh, we smile in our office. Let me tell you something. I work with a lot of plastic surgeons, and they come to me, they say, I'm fine in my office. We're doing this, we're doing that. And then they say, you know what? I'm on board. I want to join your course. And then we look under the hood and we realize maybe it looks good on the surface, but there's challenges. And a lot of offices are just scraping by. In fact, when I talk to some of their staff, a large percentage of doctors' offices have staff that are ready to jump ship. And sometimes the doctor doesn't even know it. What a big surprise that is. And that's a difficult conversation to have. So bear with me on this. The power of smile. So why is the smile important? Well, some people, they smile no matter what happens to them. Well, I got a flat tire. Some people, no matter what happens to them, they never smile. Let me ask you a question. What do most patients rate the doctor on their smile score? 0 to 10. And if I do this correctly, let's see, are you guys seeing, I believe you might be seeing my screen now. Let me scoot this over here. So if you're seeing my screen, then Chad, can you see my screen there? Do you see that universal smile score? Do you see that?
I do, yes.
Okay, good. Here's the smile score. Most patients rate the doctor in this range here, 1, 2, 3. So 0 to 10, it's like the universal pain score, right? And there's my face there on the side. Okay. Now, there are some doctors that live in the middle and some are up high, but most are down here, okay? Where do patients want to see their doctor for the best customer service and that best patient experience? They like to see them high. Now, they don't have to be tip top 10. Very good. They don't have to be tip top 10, but they got to be high to show that we care, that we're not in a hurry, that we're not rushed, okay? Now, here's a practical question. If we do a consultation with the patient and we cannot get them to smile through the entire consult, what do you think the likelihood is they're going to smile after we do our very best work? It's pretty low, right? And it's not that common, but it happens. So that's in this range right over here. If they are truly a 0 smiler, that can actually sometimes be dangerous, because if someone is just so flat, they don't get any positivity back at all, they may be ready to hurt themselves or hurt other people, right? You see that. You're just human. We all have a limit. People snap. They're not smiling. You look at this even a little bit further. These people here, they will receive only in the positivity. Like, they may be flat, but if you say, hey, how are you? They give it back a little bit. They respond. If you're in the middle here, the 4, 5, 6 smile range, well, now that group, they're putting out positive energy and they are receiving it, putting it out, giving, pitching, and catching. Now, when you're 7, 8, 9, 10 smile score, you are putting out so much positive energy, you're making people laugh. It's actually easier to predict some people's behavior because your energy shows them very quickly if they're having trouble smiling, maybe they're in pain and they were just trying to hide it, right? You can't really hide a smile score if you are looking at someone. So the smile score is important, because what do you think your patients rate you on your smile score? What do your staff rate you on your smile score? And in my office, when we were at a bottom, okay, my morale was, the staff morale was terrible. My office manager said, you're gonna have to file for bankruptcy. I was so stressed, I took total accountability for that, okay? And I came up with the idea, I said, you know what? We're just gonna smile more. It'll be great and it'll build morale. And I discovered that when you tell people that they need to smile more, they won't do it. In fact, they resent you for telling them, don't tell me to fake smile. I'll smile whenever I want to. It's a bunch of baloney. We put up mirrors in the office because they're supposed to smile and dial. And they work for a little bit, but then they get pushed to the side. There was only one way that I could get my office to smile more. I had to show up and I had to smile more, even though I was stressed and frustrated and this stuff's not going well in business. And as they say, as the saying goes, the time we need to smile the most is when we want to smile the least. So I'd show up to the office, as I'm here in my office now, I'd say, hey guys, oh my gosh, look at the schedule. It's full. Wow, great job unpacking the schedule. And oh, these patients, they love our treatments and you guys love taking care of the patients. Oh, it's going to be a big party today. And even though my team may have been laughing at me, I didn't care. They were still smiling. And when you do this day after day after day, things start to change. You lift the mood a little bit. Are patients ever feel fearful, stressed, or frustrated in your office? You bet. You thinking about plastic surgery? You mean you want to cut my skin? Oh, surgery is scary. By the way, big secret, nobody wants surgery. You talk to them about their non-surgical options. Sometimes that is their best option, but very few people ask a surgeon, I don't want to go have surgery. Smiling and laughing breaks the tension. Now, some of you may say, I know. Okay, good. We'll talk a little bit more about that. The power of smile. In my team, I was able to lift people's smiles up, but there were some people that wouldn't respond. So what did I do for those people that just didn't seem to get the hang of it? And they say, well, I fake it for the patients. But can you really fake it? you can always tell. You just got to spend time with someone before you'll see if they're stressed or frustrated about something. So it was very difficult. I had to pull one in particular. I pulled a staff member aside and I said, listen, and this was someone I cared about, helped them get through school. I knew they cared about me and I cared about them, but they just didn't seem happy at the office. And I said, you know, you've worked with me so long and we really appreciate you. I said, listen, I'm not going to fire you, but you just can't work here anymore. It breaks everyone's hearts. You don't smile. You've got to find some place that you can smile if you can't smile here. And they did end up leaving, and it was painful. It's always difficult to have turnover, but it was the right thing to do. And little by little, when we brought on new team members and our smile score was higher, each new person that came on saw, oh, the smile score is high. They don't want to be the low person on the smile score. They would bump themselves up, and it gets better and better. And truly, it is such a love fest in my office. I get so much love from my staff. They take amazing care of me. And I brag on them in front of my patients, and I tell them this. And you know what the patients, first of all, patients love to hear that, because they know if I'm well taken care of by the staff, that they're going to be well taken care of too, right? And then it invites the patient to say, oh yeah, you've got a great staff. I hate it when the patients are complimenting my staff on how great they are. Keep it lighthearted. This is your best. The smile score is the best way to manage patient expectations. So if you're a believer in the power of smile, if you're not, just take a little selfie of yourself. Do that right now. And in fact, let's just do that. Take a selfie of yourself, okay? And I'm going to take a selfie right now. Get your phone. You all have phones, or maybe you're listening to this. Take a selfie right now. Put a big smile. Cheese, big smile. Okay. Now do one more selfie, right? Flat, no smile. Ready? Okay. Now look at those selfies, okay? And who is it that you want to spend more time with? Who do you want your doctor to be? Who looks more approachable? Who looks more serious, right? Not that you're going to be flippant or crazy. You don't want to be zany, but most of us don't like the way that we look. We don't present ourselves as well as the smile. And I use that all the time. I tell patients, none of our treatments look as good as when you just put a smile on your face. Keep it light, make them laugh. Look in the mirror, you're looking good. Look at that. Have fun with it. So your smile score, the more your team smiles, you give your patients permission to smile. I had a patient today. My staff came to me, oh, Dr. Rich, they got a low smile score. Okay, so what do? I knock on the door, I break in. Hey, Mrs. Smith, how are you? Okay, I give them a big hug. Let's take a good look. I hear you had a concern. You did some filler and you felt you got some swelling in this area. Let's take a look. And they were frustrated. And this was a patient that had been to 3 different injectors, had 3 different treatments. I was the 3rd one in 6 months. And I gave her the talk. I said, I can't make it perfect. Talked to her for quite some time, but I was just positive and smiling. And more importantly, getting her to smile. I told this to a doctor and he says, you know, I hate it if people are fakey smiles. Oh, that makes me angry. I said, I get it. Nobody wants to be faked to. I will take care of that. Yeah, great. Nobody wants that. But if we really do care about our patients, I'm assuming you care about your patients, yes? Tell them with the smile. I told this to a patient today. Every person should tell everyone else how beautiful they are through their smile. You smile and say, you got a good looking presenter here. Patients like to see your confidence. What shows confidence more than a smile? You've come to the right place. We'll take great care of you. Some people think smiling is weakness. The strongest person in the room, you cannot take the smile off their face no matter what, right? If you're a believer in the power smile, we'll keep continuing. If you're not, we need to talk afterwards. I do have a few doctors that it takes me an extra talk to get them there, but believe me, it works, and that's critical for us generating over $3 million in cosmetic revenue. That's the first ingredient, the power smile. Second ingredient, I'm a dad. I've got 3 kids. Oh, there we go. This is an older picture of my family. There's my 3 kids. Okay, I'm going to go back to the screen here. And my 3 kids and my amazing wife. So here we go. Now, not showing anything, but I want to show myself. And I believe that's me. Now, am I on screen there, Chad? Did I do that right?
Yes, you did. You're good.
There's my family. My wife, she's amazing. Woman of my dreams. Best thing that ever happened to me. I like to be a teaching dad. Our children, they need our knowledge. They do crazy things. So I was traveling. I get home. I want to get their attention. Is it easy to get the kids' attention? Not easy. You got to be entertaining. So I put $100 books on the table, on the kitchen table. I had all of their attention. Even my wife was paying attention. My kids are like, what's that for, Dad? I said, do you guys want to win this money? They said, yeah. What do we got to do? I'll do this. I'll do that. They started reaching for the money. I said, don't touch that. If you want to win this money, you have to answer this question. This is the second ingredient for the wow experience. I asked them, I said, what makes food taste the best? What makes food taste the best? Now, my youngest, he's 10 at the time. He said, God. My middle child said, love. He's 12. My daughter's 15. She's very literal. She said, preservatives and ingredients make food taste the best. My wife said ingredients. I said, what makes food taste the best is hunger. And when you are hungry to serve, when you're hungry, if you haven't eaten for a week, when you eat a sandwich, that is the best tasting sandwich, even if it wasn't that good, right? So hunger. And when you are hungry, your patients know. When you're not hungry, if you're tired and you're just not that hungry, it just doesn't do what it does for me. You're not that hungry. Everyone knows it. How hungry are your staff? Are they hungry? They show up to the office and say, oh, I love, what else can I do for you? I'm going to do this, this, and this. And after I'm done, do you need anything else, right? When you're really hungry, go back to the smile score. 0 to 10, everybody has a hunger score. When you're really hungry, you pounce. Oh, is that food over there? Haven't eaten in a week. Is that a sandwich? You gonna eat that? Oh, please, is that okay? You pounce. Let me tell you something. In my office, if someone wants a facelift and they walk into my office, oh, we pounce. We are pouncing on that. I got my best Wall Street Journal bestseller. They got to read the book. They're going to see my videos. I got thousands of videos online. I do a lot of live videos. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/ImageLift. You should absolutely do what we're doing on Facebook. I generate thousands of dollars on Facebook, right? I have learned how to monetize that, and we teach that in our system as well. So hunger score. Okay, fine. We agree. We need hungry staff. But how do you make them hungry? How do you do that? Okay, that's what I do best. And to really teach the staff, you must role model it, right? Let's talk about the smile score. Your team, they will not smile more than the leader, right? Whoever the smile leader is in the office, it's rare that they're going to smile beyond that. So if your smile leader is kind of, they're not going to smile that much. If no one in the office is that hungry, yes, the surgeon, the leader, the doctor is hungry, but they may be hungry to do other things. They may not be serving clinically. I've been guilty of being in my clinical side and I'm on emails doing stuff, and I'm not hungry to do the clinical part. I tell the team, you guys room the patient, you guys take care of things. When you're ready for me, I'll come in and I'll do stuff. I don't do that anymore. I'm hungry. If things are going, a patient shows up and they can't get that patient in a room, like if they're waiting for too long, I will room the patient myself. If I see a little garbage on the floor, I will go pick it up myself. I go to the team. Okay, who's next? I got to stand by. I want to be waiting in the ready position. I used to go to the other side of my office and finish emails in between patients. I don't do that anymore. I want to be hungry to serve the patients and be on time. You make your patients wait for too long, guess what happens to their smile score? Okay, so hunger. So if you've got a great smile score in your office, if you need it to be higher, let me know. I can help you. If you've got a great hunger score, some people think they're mutually exclusive. Some people think if you're so hungry, you won't smile and you're too intense, and that may be a bad thing. Well, I don't want to be too hungry. Oh, it's glorious to be hungry when you can keep your smile going. When you can keep your smile going. Or some people think if you're just smiling all the time, you're having fun, you're not doing stuff. No. Let me tell you, I work less in my office than I ever have, and I'm making more money. But I work really hard. Like, I bring it. When I show up to the office, I'm not like, oh, I gotta see. If I got one more patient, before I go and see a patient, before I knock on the door, there's a patient, like I do this right outside here. Like, you watch me. Here I am. Like, I'm going to go in there and see. I get to try to look through. Before I go through, then I'm like, okay, here we go, here we go, here we go. And then I'm like, right. And then I'm coming in, like, let's say I'm coming the other way. Hello, Mrs. Smith. How are you? It's good to see you. I give him a big hug. How did we do from the last treatment? Did she have any bruising? Oh, okay, great. Oh, your uncle said that? Wonderful. I come in strong. High smile score, high hunger score, right? Third ingredient. Third ingredient is your script, which comes from coaching and training. Now, we are all scripted. the very basic level of scripting is people just say, well, I let my personality flow through. Our personalities are scripts, right? Most of us are speaking English if you're listening to me. Most of us don't have a Chinese script. That's a script. Most of us don't have a German script or Thai or Korean. It's English or whatever other language you may speak, but that's a script that you've learned. And in the office, we say certain things, and we've got our stump speech or our spiel. The next level is a written script, because you want to analyze what you say. Oftentimes in our script, we may say things we don't realize the impact of what it can have on the patient's emotions, okay? And when you've got a script, the next level two, there's either no script and it's your personality, then there's a script and you analyze what you say to the patients, to your team, you analyze that script. Then there is how much do you practice and rehearse, right? So think of Broadway, right? What's their hunger? How hungry are people on Broadway? Oh, they're hungry. They are working their guts out. They go over that script over and over again. They're smiling, they're performing, they're singing and this and show tunes and kicking and, you know, here we go. High smile score, high hunger score, high script. Know your script. Practice your script. Study scripts of other people. I teach scripts. Now you can customize a script for what you do, but it's still a script. You want a consistent experience. You don't, when you go to Disney, people have a pretty consistent experience depending on where they go through the park. Yeah, there's some variability, but what Disney delivers is very consistent. And they script their staff members. Are you ready to have a magical day today? I was just in Disney. That's what they asked me. I said, I think I would like to have a magical day. Well, where are you coming from? They ask that a lot. Oh, they get you talking about you. Did you, anything else I can help you with? Help you find something? You know, they've got scripts. So smile score, hunger score, and your script. And if you got a 10 out of a 10 script score, that means you've got a written script, you practice it a lot. How often do we need to do training? As often as you can. Most doctors' offices, how do they do training? They usually don't do that much. And if they do, they may not even be that good at training. So that's where I come in. Those three ingredients create the wow experience. And I put this together. I have an online coaching and mentoring program. It's called PracticeProfitabilityMD.com, PracticeProfitabilityMD.com. You can go visit and check it out. We are so proud of our doctors. And what's interesting is I'll talk to doctors about this, say, I don't know, it seems like a good idea. And by the time they get in, once they do, they're like, I get the most amazing comments. Thanksgiving came through. Some of my doctors, more than one doctor said, you know, I'm thankful for you, Dr. Rich. I'm so glad you sent me that email because this has made such a difference in our office. It lightens the mood. They're more effective. They even have a place. They have a structure. We go to meetings, national meetings, and you get some great advice. You come back, but there's no structure. I was speaking to an office manager today, and they said, oh, their team has tasked them with taking things to the next level. Great. And then she kind of confessed to me and said, well, you know, but I feel like I'm pulled in so many different directions. Like I need a little bit of help. I'm not as effective when I'm going in so many different areas. Again, that's where we come in to help compartmentalize the work and give you a structure to do this. Just because doctors are smart doesn't mean they're going to be great in business. The criteria for knowing the script of good business is you must practice business and do it and get good and get coaching. So let me ask you a question. What is your smile score? What is your hunger score? What is your script score? What is the score of your staff? I ask you a few questions. Here's another important question. How coachable are you, right? I talk to some people, they're very open. You say this, you're like, great. You know, I was doing this wrong before. Now I'm doing this the right way. What a big difference. Some people will never admit that they do something wrong, right? We've got to be coachable if we want to go to the next level. Now, some people say, well, my practice is fine. Okay. But fine isn't going to do great tomorrow because your competitors are going to eat your lunch. And when I approach this, truly, when you see the number of cosmetic businesses that go out of business, it's heartbreaking because the financial loss, the stress, the wasted time, emotion, oh my gosh. When I meet a doctor, if they are not optimizing their business or they're silently suffering, oh, I hear that and I am present with that. That's why I've gone through the trouble. Our online coaching and mentoring program, we have over 25 videos that people can watch, 5 different modules. They download the content and They can watch it anytime. There's PDFs. We do group coaching calls. We do webinars. And I do follow-up. There's homework. There's a Facebook community group. So to give you an idea, when I talk to doctors, I ask them a few simple questions. And please, while you're watching this, write these down. Number one, what are your goals for the next year? I hear some similarity in some of what the goals are. People want to raise their revenues. They want to get a new salesperson in position. They want to buy a new laser. They want to get a new location. They want to do less insurance, more cosmetic. I have practices that come in that are multi-million-dollar cosmetic practices. I have some that are just starting. I have some that are 50-50 insurance, 50% cosmetic, the whole spectrum. And they want to get more of their practice. They want to be running their business rather than having their business run them. A lot of doctors tell me, well, I don't have the time to go through a program like this. They don't have the time because they don't know how to make the time, because their business is running them. And when you're really good at running your business, you get control of your time. You get your time back. Remember, I work less than I ever have, and I make more money doing it because our systems are so good. I noticed on my schedule, I average about 10 to 15 patients a day, but we're still bringing in, well over $300,000, $350,000 per month. And that last 2 months, it was over 450. It was over 400,000, 2 months in a row. I wasn't so upset about seeing only 10 to 15 patients a day. Okay. So if you don't have time to do a course like this, you need it all the more. I will show you how to have time, right? So what do I ask my doctors? What are their goals? Write down what your goals are. What's important to you? There we go. Perfect. What's important to you? Now, why? Why is that important to you? Well, people say, well, I want to build my business. I'm earning income. I want to retire. I want to get my kids' college education paid for. I want to take a nice vacation. I want to buy something nice for my spouse. Your reasons why will drive you to what you want. Third question, what are your challenges? What stands in the way? What is your biggest daily frustration? Now, by the way, while you're writing these things down, feel free to reach out to me, and you can email me these privately if you want to go have one-on-one and do a consultation on this. It's the simplest email is drrich, drrich at practiceprofitabilitymd.com. We'll give that to you again, but drrich at practiceprofitabilitymd.com. We go through those questions, and then I say, great, here's how I can help you. Now, when someone signs up for my course, we do an onboarding call. I just got off a call today. I had 2 plastic surgeons, I have a handful of plastic surgeons out in California, some of them in Beverly Hills, some in San Francisco, and we were on the phone, and we were going through the common question, how do I deal with these tire kickers? How do I deal with these price shoppers? What did I tell them? In truth, there's really no such thing as a price shopper or a tire kicker. They're story shopping. If a patient shows up to your office, they want your treatment. If you told them they could have it for free, most of them are going to sign up. If they're looking for a great price, when they really understand how good you are compared to the rest of the competition, why would they want to go for anything less? Why would say, well, I get a real good deal? Well, it's not a good deal if you have to repeat it or revise it, is it? And you've got to have a good story that tells them that. So we help doctors create their story. The greatest leaders are the greatest storytellers. And who are the greatest storytellers of our time? We love rock stars. Rock stars. We've lost some rock stars, some of the greatest rock stars. When people lose a rock star, they're touched personally. Elvis, Michael Jackson, George Michael, the list goes on, Prince. They're such powerful storytellers. They got a high smile score with their songs. They do high adrenaline, dancing around on stage, and they've got a script. They know the script to their songs. In fact, their script is so good, everyone knows it, and they all sing it together. Be a rock star doctor. Well, that would be too arrogant. I mean, I've got to be humble. I can't be silly. I can't be too ostentatious. People talk about false advertising. Most doctors that are so credentialed and they've gone through so much training, a lot of doctors reverse false advertise. They don't tell people how good they are, and they do the patients a disservice because they give the patient the opportunity to go down the street and get a lesser costing service I'm all for the non-invasive and things like that, but how many of us have heard a patient say, well, I went for this ultrasound, or I went for this radio frequency, and I spent thousands of dollars, I didn't get much result. That can happen even with surgeries. But as we say, with the non-invasive or minimally invasive, the biggest complication we can come up against is eye strain, because you'd be looking at the before and after pictures and we're straining our eyes trying to figure out where the difference is, okay? So doing it right the first time, their chances of doing it right the first time are way better with someone like you that's credentialed, that's experienced. Keep them out of the hands of the fly-by-night cosmetic practices, which are everywhere, which is why you must not only be a great storyteller, but you must get your story out there. Look us up on Facebook, facebook.com/ImageLift. Look at my videos. I have one video that's got almost over 250,000 views. I make money on Facebook every day. Patients come into me. I saw your videos on Facebook. It's like my own reality show just for my patients. It's beautiful. It's awesome. And we all see how plastic surgeons are leveraging social media, and I can show you how to do that. So how to share your story. Smile score, hunger score, script score. I'll give you another tip. I've got a lot of them. How many of you are doing video? What's one of the greatest ways patients can learn about your practice? I've got an article coming out in Modern Aesthetics. Denise Mann, the editor, asked me to write that. So it's a great article. Please do read it. And I'm giving you a little synopsis here. Video, video, video is the best way. Most people don't like how they look on video, myself included. If I see a video of myself, I sometimes you cringe and say, oh, couldn't have done that better. That looks goofy. That looks awkward. Don't let that hold you back. Shoot video, do it, and put it out there. Patients just want to see your personality. They want to see that you're a rock star. You've got some patients that already think you're a rock star, right? Share that story, your patient's story. Our patients are our rock stars, right? So I've done a lot of talking about the wow experience, measure that smile score. By the way, guess which patients give you the best reviews? Your high smilers or your low smilers? If I have a patient that I can't get them to smile through the whole consult, I will even screen them out. You know, Mrs. Smith, I don't know if this treatment's going to give you enough improvement to make you happy. Really? I just want you to be happy. Don't do it. Our ego gets in there sometimes and says, I can make them happy. If they don't smile for you, I train patients. I give patients smile homework. I have them look in the mirror, and you look, and I say, I ask them, I say, let me show you. First, I'll demonstrate, say, hey, you're looking good. Look at that. Patients will look, sometimes they're like, ooh, you're looking good. You know, they get into it. And sometimes patients will say, you're looking good. And you see them nod their head, and they don't believe it because they don't do it that much. It doesn't feel congruent. But you got to practice with yourself. You got to tell yourself, you got to build yourself up, because a lot of these things are true. It could be a heck of a lot worse. We don't have, you know, facial wasting. Could always be better, could always be worse. So power smile, hunger score, script score, shoot your videos, do a lot of videos. I can help you. You don't have to do it alone. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. We've done it for you. And what I do for my course, I give a 100% money back guarantee, 30 days. If you take our course and you're not happy with what you do, I'll give you your money back. None of my doctors ask for a refund. They love it. We get referrals for our program. And just like I do in my office, if I have a patient I cannot make them happy no matter what, I'll give them their money back, right? It's not worth it. I'll do everything I can. But I tell patients, look, you may do a treatment and you may not be satisfied, which we may just need to come back and do more. Better to come back another day and do more rather than go too far, right, Mrs. Jones? Great, wonderful. We teach these things in our course. It would be an honor to share with you what you do. There's only so much I can cover in the webinar. We're coming up. I've got just a few more minutes. We're going to start taking questions. So I really honor you for being on this webinar to grow your practice. 2018 is coming. You want to set some goals? I will help you set some amazing goals that are achievable, that are fun, that will drive your spirit, that will drive your fire, that will drive your hunger. And my tools, these videos, they're not just for the doctor. Some of them say, well, the doctor says, well, I kind of already know this. Well, you may, but it's for your team. The team is never on the same page as the doctor. And if you leave them in the dark, they'll make stuff up. And when they do, it's usually not what you're looking for. So train your team. Your greatest asset that you have is your team, and train them. How much does Starbucks train their team? How much does McDonald's train their team? And they still make mistakes. You've got to train. So we've got a system. We've done that for you. I'd love to share more with what we can do. We're starting our next class in January. So that class will sell out. My first class sold out in days. We've already got people enrolling and registering. So what I'm doing for this special webinar, we are allowing, and I'm so grateful to Chad. Again, Chad, so much integrity, effective at what he does. I've heard the stories of people where they were just in website danger, right? What would happen if your website just went down, right? Would that be bad? Oh, Dr. Rich, the website's not up anymore. What? That's not good. That's the emergency call. Put out the bat signal. It's the Chad signal, right? There he is, and he comes in. He's got a cape. He's not wearing his cape now, but he's amazing, and he's an ethical person, and he gets the job done. And so the point is, we're here to help and we're here to serve, right? It is painful to see doctors drowning in shark-infested waters, and you know you've got that life preserver. Just do this. It'll make it better. So whether it's me or whether it's Chad helping you out, please seek help. You are worth it. Some people say, I don't know if I can afford the investment. Let me talk about the investment. So for my course, if you take my course, and let's say you sell 1 or 2 extra cosmetic procedures, you can bring in $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. Let's say you sell 4 extra cosmetic procedures, and that gives you $10,000. The value that we give in our course, and in addition to the course, the videos, the downloadable PDFs and content, the group coaching calls, 6 of them, the webinars, 5 webinars over a 10-week period every 2 weeks, support with me, onboarding call, follow-up emails for accountability, and I'm doing a 2-day live event. We just set the date. It's going to be the weekend of April 2021, Friday, Saturday, 2-day live event in Tampa. We'll see you there, and we can do a deep dive on this where not only can the doctor come, but they can bring 2 of their staff, right? Very powerful. All of this is well over $20,000 in value. What I'm doing is we're going to be selling this for $10,000. And because Chad has been so gracious and is allowing me to be a part of this and share with his contacts and his team, we're doing an early bird special. So for this group, limited time, the class will fill. We're doing this for $5,000. Now, some people will make a payment, $500 down, $1,500 a month for 3 months. Or if you pay in full, we'll give you a break even more, $4,250, right? We wanted to make this a total no-brainer. You get all the videos. They're yours forever. Your staff can review them. I talked with doctors today. They said, your videos are great. We're showing them to our staff. They got a new person on the phone. Some people talk about, you know what, we'll secret shop. Secret shopping is great, and I recommend it. But guess what? You really don't need secret shopping on the phones. You just need to ask this question. All I have to do is ask a practice. Let me ask you something. Do you have a written script for how your team answers the phone? Yes or no? Okay. And, oh, here we go. Perfect. If you've got a written script, do you have it? Yes or no? Or do you spend time training your staff and working with your staff on how to answer the phones and role play? If they don't have a script and they don't train their staff, I don't need to secret shop them. I know they're not going to have a consistent experience. I know they're not going to be great at it. If you want to be great at answering the phones, you got to practice and you got to rehearse. And I'm with my team and I'm, hey guys, giving them feedback. What did Miss Jones say? Okay, great. She said that. Well, here's what we want to say next time. You constantly got to be role playing. Sales team, you constantly got to be training. If you want to be the best, ask that question. How good do you really want to be? How good do you want to allow yourself to be? Okay. So we provide that support for you. It's all included. All the risk is on me, 100% money back guarantee. So I am so grateful for the opportunity to serve. You can get in touch with me. My cell phone, 813-422-8444. So that's 813-422-8444. And email me, Dr. Rich, D-R-R-I-C-H, at practiceprofitabilitymd.com. I'll help you. I'll do whatever I can. Let me know what it will take to get you in there, because it will make a difference, and not just for your team and your profitability, but for your quality of life. If you're going to spend the majority of time in your office, you might as well enjoy it. And let me tell you something, I dance to my office every day. And yes, we have headaches. And yes, we have frustrations. And we get through them as a team. And when I learned how to credential my team, when I learned how to validate them, they give so much of themselves for me. You ever feel like you just have to constantly be on top of your staff? There's certainly something to that. But now when I'm not looking, my staff give me so many gifts. It's beautiful. And truly, if you think about your staff, we have single moms. They don't have the privilege of going through the education that you do. When you treat them like the amazing and beautiful people that they are, and by the way, I made the mistakes in the past. I was so frustrated and angry with my staff and they didn't get things done. We had been through training and I didn't yell at them, but I would give them the look. We're running 45 minutes late, setups in the room. I got to get in there, get in, get out, do the next patient because waiting room's full. I get in and the setup's wrong. And I was so frustrated and angry and I didn't yell at my staff, but I would look at them like this and be like, and all I had to do was give them the look. They felt yelled at. While I sometimes feel that way, like I want to give that look, I do not indulge in that because you kill the mood. Sales is the transfer of emotion. People want to feel good, look good, feel good, do good, right? That's our motto. And if you're tense or tight, people aren't feeling good, they're stressed, they're like, I'm not so sure. It doesn't quite feel right. You want the mood to be great. You say, okay, well, if the setup's all wrong, well, we got a training opportunity here. We're just going to get through this since they got such an amazing doctor and they've got such a great team and we got great patients. Let's get you taken care of. And you know, Mrs. Jones, I'm so sorry we were running late, but we're going to give you the very best care. All my time is yours now. Let's get this taken care of. How do you like it? Did I do a good job? Well, I'm so proud of you for choosing such a wonderful doctor. Have fun with it. Get through. And, you know, if you have a patient walk out, things happen. It happens. Don't try and do it perfectly. Don't we love it when our patients are perfectionistic? Patients can be super perfectionist about all these things. Don't be a perfectionist about your business. Perfectionism is dangerous. Be a practical perfectionist. Don't lose your high standards, but also do not hold on to that standard so tight and it's got to be this way or So would love to help you. Thank you. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. We have both of our Wall Street Journal best-selling books. The Smile Prescription is an opportunity to learn a little bit more about the smile. This is the tip of the iceberg. I highly recommend this to anyone and everyone that wants to boost their smile score. And this is our book. This is more about like facelifting, where if a patient wants a facelift and they read this book, we guarantee we can make you look younger. They're done. Right? We have a lot of before and after pictures, stories of my patients. Patients love this book. So these are the things that I have done. And again, I have doctors, I have people reaching out to me all the time. Rich, how'd you write a book? You wrote 2 Wall Street Journal bestsellers? Yes, I can help you with that. Right? I love marketing because marketing is storytelling. And the greatest leaders of today are the greatest storytellers. And the greatest storytellers of today are the rock stars. Look at what the press that the media gives to the rock stars. The paparazzi are all over them. Be the rock star doctor. It's true to your training. It's true to your abilities. You're worth it, and your patients are worth the experience. It's not correct to be so humble when it comes to your credentials if you're going to keep the patient from making a bad choice. So what have we talked about? Your wow experience, smile score, hunger score script. Take a lot of video. Check out our website, practiceprofitabilitymd.com/join. Reach out to me. Give me the opportunity to share with you how I can apply this to your practice. I guarantee you'll be satisfied. And I am so grateful for the opportunity. It is such a joy to have doctors come to me in great deal of pain. Some of them just barely tell me, I don't know how I'm going to make payroll. Right? I'm not a miracle worker, but I can get you there and make progress. Right? Some people say I am a miracle worker. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. But the alternative, that's scary. Do not go without a structure. Do not go without a coach. Tiger Woods, Tom Brady, the best of the best athletes, they all have great coaches, and you deserve a great coach too. So from Coach Dr. Rich, I will now turn it over to Coach Chad Erickson, who is just one of my role models. And every time I'm around Chad, I always get so excited. He makes me excited. I'm inspired to do great things. So thank you so much, Chad, for letting me share what we do today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Rich, for being here and for sharing so much with us. We've got several questions for you tonight. So
yes, I'm ready.
Very good. And if anybody else has questions, again, on the GoToWebinar control panel, please feel free to put your questions there, and I'll continue to moderate those. So the first question is really from our skeptical group, which I think you find sometimes, right?
Yes,
and I think
sir.
This is a great question. But really, can culture really make that big of a difference?
That's a wonderful question. Culture makes all of the difference. Medicine can be dehumanizing. I'm going to say that again. Medicine can be dehumanizing to the doctors. We must bring our humanity back. This is about kindness. If you can't just share a smile, I mean, they just caught a serial killer here in Tampa, right? We never know, but tomorrow's going to be our last day. I mean, we've got to live for today. And when you see someone, you look them in the eye and say, it's so good to see you. But I've been guilty of it. If I'm in a hurry on a rush and say hi, or sometimes I don't even say hi. Culture matters. If you want to reduce turnover, if you want great patient satisfaction scores, culture matters. Patients don't write reviews because of a bad outcome. They write reviews because they have a bad experience. This is your greatest malpractice protection you'll ever get, is your patients smiling. Culture is everything.
I'm glad you said that, and interesting, to say, yeah, if you want to reduce your malpractice exposure, make it a great experience. And it doesn't just apply to your business as well. It's something that we look at in our office as well, and it's something we're constantly evaluating. And are we, because our own retention is important, so we have to look at those things. What do our groups value? We have a lot of millennials too, and what do they value? And they sometimes get a bad rap. A lot of them are hard workers, but you have to understand how to work with them and how to make that happen. So one of the other questions that has come in was, what has been the best thing you've done for staff retention? Is there anything specific?
The best thing I've done for staff retention is tell them how great they are, tell them how proud I am of them, to validate them, to make them smile. When I come in and I'm so good at it now with my staff. It's like my kids. I just went to go see my family, and I have my niece and my nephew. My nephew's 2, my niece is 5. They were at a restaurant. I walked into the restaurant, and my family is from South Korea, so my nephew calls me Komo Boo. That's my name for Korean uncle. When I walked in, he was sitting there eating. He saw me. He started clapping. He says, Komo Boo. And of course, my heart melts. Why? Because I throw him up in the air. And we play around and we dance, and I make him smile, and we laugh. He loves seeing me. And I do the same with my staff. My niece is 5. When we were leaving the restaurant, I had her in my arms like this, and she's 5, but I treat her like she's a baby, and I say, I give her the baby talk, I'm being silly, and she's smiling, and I'm singing to her, Emerson, you're such a wonderful, beautiful girl, doing all these things, making her smile. I set her down, and as soon as I set her down, what did she say? She says, can we do that again? Like right away. What did I make her smile? Do the same for your staff. And when your staff see you, they're going to say, oh, Chad's here. Or they're going to say, can we do that again? That was really fun. You may be better at making your staff smile than they are at making themselves smile. How many people out in the world, they're single moms, they're dealing with their kids, they're dealing with family members that have drug addictions, illness, all of these things, divorce. Just if you can make them smile, that will help your retention. And I have thousands of smile strategies, and the more you practice, the better you get. And what a joy it is. That's my job, to make people smile. And I'm working so hard. I'm working right now. This is really hard work to make people smile, and I'm working hard. Smile score, staff retention.
Yeah. So the smile is a big deal, and I've heard you talk about it. And one of the things I heard was a Tony Robbins talk too, where there was a study done at Stanford where they found that they could actually cure depression, a hardcore depression, by having people smile at themselves in a mirror for 20 minutes a day. And even I drive my 2 oldest kids to school in the morning, and as we're driving, one of the things that we say that I picked up from another friend is, I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm terrific. I feel healthy, I feel happy, I feel terrific. And it's funny because it's early in the morning, it's 7 a.m., they're kind of dragging, and I make them say it a few times to get some gusto, but you can see their chemistry, their body chemistry literally is changing, and I tell them I appreciate them, and it makes a difference. And I think you said something important earlier, that this is a marathon, not a sprint. So these little things that we're talking about, you can't just go in and throw up on your whole staff tomorrow. It's not going to work. It's little things and watching these incremental changes. And you might have somebody at your office, you and I have talked about this, and I think everyone on this call can relate to this. You probably have someone on your staff today that needs to be fired, that should have been fired a long time ago, that's holding you back, that's probably cancerous in your practice, and you need to probably get rid of that person. And I hope that you find that courage to do that and realize it might be painful for a minute, but that short-term pain is nothing compared to the long-term what's going on. So if you've got someone who's holding back the staff, it's not allowing it to grow, to allow that to happen, make the change. I can't emphasize that enough. It's not easy, make it happen.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's even because there's the environment does not allow that staff to thrive. Maybe they'll do great in another place. So you want to make sure you've got a great environment first. And then if they still don't cut it there, then sometimes it's easier to just get the staff to quit by just asking them to keep doing their job. And if you're positive and here, well, you did a great job, thank you so much, I really appreciate that, but I really need you to work on the schedule. After you go through something 10 times with someone and you're positive and reaffirming them on positive things they did, but by the 10th time, they're getting the message of, I'm just not able to do this, or maybe they don't want to, they will end up leaving themselves, and you don't have to fire them. Now, you mentioned this study. This all is very scientific, the facial feedback hypothesis. Whatever we have on our face, we internalize, it changes our personality, changes our heart rate, your facial expression makes you less stressed. Statistically, you're more likely to stay married. You live longer, up to 7 years longer, just by smiling more. I mean, I'm prolonging my life right now.
If I keep smiling, I'm going to need to come to you for some fillers. But another question that came in is you talked about staff meetings, but how frequently do you hold staff meetings is part one of that. And secondly is what's your general agenda? If you could share part of that with the group tonight.
You need to make a commitment for at least once a week, at least 30 minutes a week. When I first started, I didn't do office meetings. Why? Because I was too busy. And I was wrong.
Yep.
Need to have the office meeting. I do an hour a week, but I'm also doing little spot trainings. I pump up every one of my staff in the morning. Hey, good to see you. I give them high fives. We give hugs. Oh, it's going to be a great day. Look at the schedule. Oh my gosh, we love seeing Mrs. Smith. She's coming in. Oh, it's going to be great. I put our number up. What's our daily? Everybody needs a daily number of what they're going to hit for the revenue, right? Because there's a number that's coming through for overhead for payroll. That number's set, by the way. Everybody needs to know, let's make this number. Some days you hit it, some days you don't, but give them a goal. So on our content format for the meetings, sometimes the staff will talk, we'll go through specific things. I like to lead the meetings, but you need at least 30 minutes. Do 1 or 4 30-minute blocks through the week. Do little touch points. I try to do a little pump up with my staff and have fun with them and dance. Hey, how are you doing? How are those phone calls coming along? Oh, good job, and pump them up. I try and do that 2 to 4 times a day, only because I want them charging. I want them chomping at the bit the whole day. I want them to be hungry. If this matters and a patient's walking through and we get that much chance before they're going to go down the street, I want to make sure my staff gave everything. And we get tired at 2 o'clock and blood sugar drops, and I'm like, hey guys, come on, this is our last patient. Let's just really give it to them. Come on, here we go. They're going to give more for that. So that's the general format of what I do to pump up the team.
Just a couple more questions. We've got 3 more for you. One of them is, do you accept non-cosmetic practices into your program? And I know the particular doctor asking, he has a very, very successful vein practice.
Yes, the answer is absolutely yes. In fact, well, just like Chad, you came in and learned from what we're doing. Any business will benefit from this. This is about customer service. This is about communication. When you have good communication practices, life is the flow of information. And most of the time when practices run into trouble, it's poor communication habits. What is communication? It's a script. Everybody needs to be on the same page. Well, they say, you know what? We're not on the same page because one staff does it one way, another staff does it another way. But when you train regularly, everybody sings in tune. Everybody knows how to say it. It's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. we know how to say the song. It's not A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Sing the same song. You've got to practice. How many times did it take each of us to learn our ABCs? That's how long it's going to take for you to learn any protocol. Practice it again, honey. You did a good job. Oh, you missed that. The T doesn't go there. Keep practicing. Oh, your protocol for setting up the fillers. Well, we got to put the lidocaine here. Keep practicing. Here's a photo of it on how we do the lidocaine setup for the tray and this and the consent form. Here's a checklist. Do a checklist for everything, right? So
it's so funny you mentioned that. My wife has taught manners for years, and it's something she's passionate about. We have a chart at home of where the forks go, where the knife and the spoon go, where the cups go, and it's a picture, and the kids are sometimes, where does that go again? And she's like, it's on the picture. Go see it, you know. And our kids have a morning checklist before they go to school. Check, 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 check.
Oh,
here you go. It's
kids
and
are
it
so
helps.
It's a protocol. A picture is a written protocol. Do it like this. It's a checklist. We're only human. Don't have perfectionistic standards of, you know what? I showed them 2 or 3 times on the phone. There's a word for that. It's called tribal training. If you don't have a protocol, it's tribal training. What is tribal training? Okay, whoever's there doing it, you're in the tribe. Go learn from them. And if you're having a bad day, you're going to learn how to do it badly. Right? No tribal training protocol. And when you teach the protocol, you get the ace in there. You get the best person to show you how to do it. And when you learn from the best, you emulate their habits. And it's like ice skating. If you know how to ice skate, you zip out on the ice. There's no hesitation. You ever notice how some people are hesitant and reluctant to do their jobs? The reason why, they don't really know how. If you really know how to answer the phones, if you really know how to make 20 outbound phone calls in an hour, right? Good average is 12 to 18 phone calls in an hour, documenting, getting some people on the phone, getting their information, telling them about your specials. If you know how to do it, it's a blast. Hey, Mrs. Smith, I haven't seen you in a while. The doctor was thinking about you. It's so good to talk to you. Hey, we've got these specials. I just want to let you know. If they've got reluctance, it's because they don't know how to ice skate. How does a person who doesn't know how to ice skate approach the ice? They're tentative. They are scared about it. They delay. They try and make excuses. Well, I'm going to get something to drink first. Oh, I'm going to hurt myself. But teach them how to ice skate, and they will glide around your office and make you money.
Great point. Speaking of phone calls, another question was asked. In your course, do you also address how to generate new patient calls, and how long, and how do you make the phone, how do you make the phone ring as a first step? Make sure I'm reading this properly. In order to be able to implement all your other strategies. So really, sounds like this person has a pain point of the phone's not ringing enough. So do you teach that as part of your course?
Absolutely. And I'll teach it right now. I'll give you some feedback. So a lot of doctors say, you know what? I need more leads. And the true answer to this is doctors often have a huge database of leads, but they're not effective at getting the most out of that. The best people to sell to are your own satisfied customers. Right. The easiest money to find is the second money. Once a patient makes a purchase, they're willing to buy some skincare. In 3 to 6 months, they're willing to spend $500 or something on this, the upsell. So you've got these leads. You say, well, they've already bought, but did you ask them to buy again? Did you ask them to come back sooner? Have you done outbound calling? So the best way to make the phone ring is make your patient's phone ring. That's number one, right? Yep. And then you got to market. I like doing the videos. You got to make a name for yourself. You got to, whether you're going to do paid marketing. Now, be careful with paid marketing. I educate a lot of people about marketing. You've got to do small budgets. You've got to experiment, because you can spend a lot of money on marketing and waste it. So gradual things, but the best way to get the phones to ring is start ringing the phone yourself, right? Train your staff. We have specific protocols. How do you do an outbound call? You can make 100 outbound calls. If you have a poor script or they're just weak energy, if they're not hungry, you're going to get squat and say, well, that didn't work for us. Well, because they didn't know how to ice skate. No one taught them how. You got to get them in, bring them in. You know, they want to come. They want to come. Oh, you've got a special? Oh, well, I can make it in. So make the phone ring by ringing yourself, by calling. You got to do incentivization. How do you incentivize? We go through this in our course. Great question.
Perfect. 2 more questions. Do you still have time? I want to be honorable to you.
Absolutely. Okay. We're here. Let's do it.
All right. And people are hanging on, so they want to hear what we have. So what accountability items do you use to measure your staff?
So I use the WOW experience, smile score, hunger score, script score. How easy it is for me to tell my staff smile score. I had a staff member, she called me, said, I have a problem with this patient. They signed up and then they weren't sure if they were going to do it. And I said, well, based on our conversation, why don't you tell them to do this, this, and this? And I said, is that okay? I'll use the word Mary. I'll use the name Mary. Mary, is that okay if we do that? And she says, okay. Now, if someone says, okay, that's not a high smile score response, right? So I said, whoa, something's wrong. I said, Mary, is everything okay? She started to cry. Going through a divorce, troubles in the family, having a medical issue. I said, Mary, I know you're going through a lot right now. If you need some time, take the time that you need, right? And I could tell that instantly because I'm tuned in. If I can't make my staff smile, you know, they've got to be able to have fun in what they're doing. I'm always assessing that smile score because some people say, well, I don't want to deal with that stuff. Well, do you want to make money? Right. Do you want your business to run well? Do you want your team to love you? They're human. And if they come to work with wounds, just heal them. I use the example, what do you do if your best friend knocks on your door, you open the door, and as you see them, they're bleeding from the head? What do we do? We're like, Frank, oh, what happened to you? Come on in. Let's get you taken. Our patients, when they show up at our door, they're bleeding. And sometimes we're like, oh, they're here, like it's social, it's great. No, they're in pain. They're in so much pain. They're willing to spend $2,000, $10,000. They will spend $20,000 or $30,000 to heal their pain. They're in pain. If you see it as less than that, you miss the opportunity. And when your staff show up with pain, you've got to commiserate with them. They are having troubles going through a divorce. How are your kids doing? Oh, my little one's sick. Oh no, one of my staff, one of their nephews had to go to the hospital, was in there for 4 days, asthma exacerbation. How are they doing? You know, because they're shredded on the inside over that. Well, let me know what you need. And just the fact that you care for them makes them feel better. They want to get through the day. So you've got to measure. That's how I measure my staff. And by the way, I measure their hunger score. Are they hungry? If they're not that hungry, then I show them mine. If my hunger score is 10 out of 10, and I do run around in my office, if I show them, hey guys, here's 10 out of 10, and I'm doing this. If you're a 5, you look really weak. It's embarrassing. So I don't care. I'll embarrass them. I'm like, here, I'll run laps around them. They will get the picture. I measure their smiles by their energy score, their hunger score, and I measure their script all the time. Are they saying good things? Are they credentialing me? Are they emotionally credentialing me? I measure those 3 things all the time. And I talk about my 4 C's. You should measure your 4 C's every day. The first C is measure your clients. How many leads are you getting? Measure your consultations, measure your conversions, measure your cancels. Measure. That's a basic entry point. Start somewhere. Most practices, they don't measure. They don't. And most business owners, most really business experts will say, are you kidding me? I mean, we look at some patients and they say, how do they get by? They've got their medicine. They don't take their medicines. They don't take care of their bodies. Business people look at doctors running practices and say, what are they doing? That's crazy. Why would they ever do that? But they do it and they manage to get by, except for when they don't, except for when they go out of business, except for when they have high staff turnover, except for when they're getting a divorce because they can't run their business. Critical. People are in pain. These are so important. You've got to measure those things every day.
That last C that you mentioned is one that I think a lot of us would really glance over, right? Of thinking, oh, we measured those other things, but the cancellations is important as well, you know, and then trying to figure out why they canceled, you know, is an important part. You may not always find out, but hey, if there's a common theme, then something to think about, right? Something that might need to be corrected.
They'll tell you. All you have to do is ask. When they say, I'm canceled, I want my deposit back, or they want a refund. Okay, Mrs. Smith, we'll take care of you. May I ask, what was it that's holding you back? Family member didn't want it. They've got a health issue. They will tell you if they had the commitment to go through. Sometimes they won't, but most of them will if you've built that relationship. You definitely want to learn the cancels because a lot of times you bring them right back, and you can't do that if you haven't looked into it.
The last question tonight, thank you very much. The last question is in regards to video. You brought up video, and I'm with you. Sometimes I hate seeing myself on video. I had an interview with Kathy Ireland a few years ago, and my kids still make fun of me to this day. They mock me, and it's it's a big family joke now. But video's effective, and video. So the question is, what are the best types of videos you found, the ones that get the best response when you put them out there?
Great question. So first of all, just think of Brad Pitt when he was a teenager. Looks very different than the Brad Pitt of today, right? When you get started out there, don't worry about how you look. Just do it, right? You show up to work, you show your image to everyone else. You might as well get it out there and just get over yourself of not looking perfect. You're not a superstar model here, but you are a superstar, and you're building that persona. What videos work the best? I started out doing live surgery, and I get a lot of views from that, hundreds of thousands of views from all around the world. And the live surgery is powerful because people they're captivated. They don't want to stop watching. But that doesn't get me views on Facebook because it's too shocking for some people. So Facebook, look at my Facebook page, facebook.com/ImageLift. Also look at Jason Emmer. He's a dermatologist in Beverly Hills. He does a lot of these laser treatments that aren't too gory, and people can watch because they're fascinated, but they don't get revulsed. So, and you have to test it. So that's why every week you should be doing 1 to 10 videos, even if it's just you talking about something. Now, if I'm lecturing and telling patients, here's a consultation, that usually never gets as much as if I'm putting a needle in someone's face. They want to see blood. They want to see gore, and they want to see, things. So show it to them, talk them through, show how comfortable you keep your patients. And once you have a series of videos, then I give them my greatest hits. So do something that's not too gross. They like to see the non-invasive. They want to learn. And you'll be amazed how little people know and how much they appreciate seeing your videos like this. When you put videos out there, it sends a message that you care about what your patients think about you, and you put an effort into that, which also tells them you're going to put a lot of effort into their care. And by the time they show up after watching 10 or 20 of your videos, the consultation, fast.
Brilliant. And I know that you talk about it in your course. I can tell you that Dr. Rich and I did some videos together at Global Aesthetics about a month ago. It was a month ago, really. It's amazing how the last 30 days has flown by.
Yeah.
But I watched what he was doing and some of the things, and we went and got some equipment. We took it to the AAO, the big ophthalmology show. And honestly, our investment into the equipment was less than $200. It really was, for 2 lavalier clip-on mics, for a couple of different, just like that. Yeah, just a couple of lights to help give some light. They weren't very expensive. I'm going to actually upgrade our tripod, do a couple of things, but it worked for what we were doing. And it, again, the cost was not much. Used a phone, and the phone technology today is so great that you can do that. And certainly you can invest in high quality cameras, but right off of your phone, the ability to do to Facebook, to Instagram, to YouTube, wherever you want, and then afterwards put on your website is great. So you can do all of those. So very, very important. But one last question that just snuck in. So let's get this one in, and then
let's do it.
And so the question is, how do you get your patients to agree to be live streamed on the internet? And that's a great question. We'll end on that question tonight.
So you just have to ask them. When you do video for your patients, it magically creates the experience that you are better. You're an educator now. The patient's mind is somewhere else. The patient's mind before is like, am I going to look messed up? Am I going to look weird? What is this going to hurt? They're worried, or they're excited about seeing this. Now, the moment there's a video, they're like, oh, wow, they're teaching. There's other people watching and making comments. So first you ask them. Now, there are some people that are intensely private and they just won't want to do it. And that's fine. You always have to honor that. And anytime you do a video with someone, even if a patient gives you a permission, you have to be willing to take it down if they change their mind later. And so it's a no-brainer. We have them all sign a release. I'll do live video. And some people say, well, that's a HIPAA violation. Are you allowed to do that? And yes, of course it's legal. It's the best way to teach. You can honestly go through medical school on YouTube. I don't know any doctor that hasn't learned something from YouTube. There's tons of great information out there. So keep putting your information out there, and the quality of information just keeps getting better and better. But it's a good practice for you to do as much as you can. Ask your patients, tell them it's for teaching. Some people, I usually don't give my patients anything to do videos. Sometimes I will. If they ask, maybe I will, but usually we just do it. And it also depends on how you ask, because I've had runs where we'll have like everybody will do video. And then for a while, it's like, oh, they didn't want to do video. So then I have to talk to the staff. It's like, it's about how you ask. It really is. Because if they're like, if they feel intimidated by it, say, hey, look, we do some videos for teaching. I think you'd love it. You can watch your own procedure. I had a patient, I was doing her surgery, and her daughter was watching, and someone commented and said, hi, Mom. And she says, oh, my daughter's watching. And I said, well, that's great. I said, what does your daughter do? And she's like, oh, she's up in North Carolina. She's an attorney. And we had a good laugh. And I'm like, well, fine. I'm doing video. Here it is. And then she says, Oscar's here too. I'm like, who's Oscar? She's like, oh, that's her dog. I said, we have dogs watching us on all across the country. So just ask them and be sincere and be genuine. Tell them it's for teaching, and if they want to watch their own, you've got to get a feel for it, but you need that confidence. The more you ask, you'll get more people. It takes a little more prep time. If I'm running behind in clinic, I may not do the videos, so you have to balance those things in, but just ask them. It's a bonus value add.
Thank you very much. Dr. Rich, thank you. Thank you for taking so much of your time to be here tonight to share with us so many of these ideas. It's wonderful. And I know there's more. So before we finish tonight, one more time, will you please let them know how best to get in contact with you?
Yep. So you got my cell phone number, 813-422-8444, my practiceprofitabilitymd.com website. Email me, Dr. Rich, drrich at practiceprofitabilitymd.com, drrich@practiceprofitabilitymd.com, or you can text me 813-422-8444. I'm here to help you. I will help you, and we guarantee your satisfaction.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Want to wish everyone happy holiday season as we tomorrow. It's unbelievable to think it's December 1st tomorrow. Our slopes are open. We will be putting out our Visit Me Ski for free again. So those of you who want to come out to Park City this year, please do so. Let me know that you're coming. Whether it's between now and April before they close again, let me know. All we ask, come to our office for a little bit, see our staff, see what we do, and I will take you skiing for a day. So that's on me.
I'm gonna have to take you up on that. I'm gonna have to check
come on out.
My kids. There you go. I'm on.
This is our third year of doing this. Last year, I think we had about 10 doctors that came out. Some were clients, some weren't, and that's okay. And some joined, some didn't. That's okay too. We have a wonderful time. So again, we welcome you. So
that's awesome.
Anyway, to all of you, thank you again for being here with us this night. Really appreciate it. Wish all of you the best and very successful. Have great success in your practice. Let's finish up this year strong for all of us. Take care. Good night.
Congratulations on all your success. Wonderful. Thank you so much for letting me come on. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.